We are back from the break on In My Own Words, Stephen M. Smith, transitioning from my 5 most valuable players from the spring game to a topic that is simply not going to go away. I understand for a lot of people, the question is, can we stop talking about Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa? It's getting old, it's getting boring, it's getting stale. Can you find something else to discuss? And quite frankly, the truth of the matter, this topic's not going to go away due to the fact that people are intrigued by what will be the next move for Jalen Hurts. Especially after the A-Day game where, once again, this was supposed to have been his moment to shine, right? This was supposed to have been his moment to prove to himself, head coach Nick Saban, the other coaches on staff, his teammates, the fans, that he has improved in all areas of throwing the football, trusting his receivers, delivering the ball on time, having the pocket awareness, having the accuracy, the precision, the touch, the decision-making, all the things that go into being an elite quarterback from a passing standpoint, or at least showing big-time improvement in being or in desiring to be an elite quarterback from a passing standpoint. The A-Day game was the best opportunity for Jalen Hurts to display those traits. Struggled in the game, 19 for 37 passing. That's a completion percentage of 51.4 for 195 yards, no touchdowns. Was picked off by Trevon Diggs in the fourth quarter. Hurts looked uncomfortable. Body language kind of gave off the vibe that did he really want to be there? Just did not look in sync. And I understand offensive line didn't give him a lot of time to throw the football, but for the most part, Jalen just did not look comfortable, could not finish drives, very inconsistent out there on the field. The one kind of long ball he had, the 59-yard completion to Devontae Smith, was underthrown and in double coverage, and it was Smith that had to stop, look for the ball, turn around, contort his body, adjust to the ball, elevate, make the play, basically bail out his quarterback. That was all Devontae Smith there. But we've come to a situation where what's the next move for Jalen Hurts? And I talk about this because if I could be transparent here for a moment, and I don't really do this often. I probably should do this more often than what I do go into it. But if I could be transparent here for a moment, if there was anybody that could speak on the Jalen Hurts situation and give the most unbiased opinion as possible, would be me, seeing how 3 years ago, at this very moment, or during this moment in time 3 years ago, I was on investigative journalism mode. Because during this time 3 years ago, Hurts was a freshman at Alabama, 2016, was an early enrollee, came in January. He, in the spring game in which he competed against Blake Barnett, Cooper Bateman, David Cornwell for the starting job, he completed 11 of 16 passes for 102 yards and did have the 5-yard touchdown completion to Derek Keith in the back of the end zone, helping Team Crimson, or Team White, if I'm not mistaken, beat Team Crimson 7-3. And upon leaving that particular spring game, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, some guys felt that, Jalen Hurts was the most comfortable looking quarterback. He was the most prepared looking quarterback. He was the best option at quarterback at that time. And in judging off years past where, Alabama had the likes of Johnny Manziel and Nick Marshall, Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, guys like Bo Wallace, and even Chad Kelly to some extent. Guys that can throw the football but also be deceptive with their legs, keeping Alabama's defense honest on the perimeter, running the football. Those kind of dual threat guys that gave Alabama issues. A lot of people looked at Jalen Hurts as that type of guy. They looked at Jalen Hurts as, finally, you know, we've been destroyed by guys like Manziel and Cam Newton and Nick Marshall, Tim Tebow, Chad Kelly, Bo Wallace. We think we got these guys bottled up. They pull the ball down. They run the ball. They pick up yardage. They put such a strain on our defense and a strain on our defensive play calling. You could also throw Cardale Jones, former Ohio State quarterback, in that mix also. But the point I'm trying to make here is those guys put such a strain on Alabama's defense and the play calling of Kirby Smart at that time, Kirby Smart at Georgia now. But Alabama fans truly believe that Jalen Hurts could provide the same type of dual threat capability, and it started off looking like that, especially after the 2016 A-Day game. I mean, once again, you had some people to leave Bryant-Denny Stadium that day thinking, this is our quarterback, this is the guy, this is the man. And I remember when I left that day, I went on espionage. I sat there and I went on investigative journalism reporting. I sat there, I was like Magnum PI out there, talking to players, whether they are starters, walk-ons, scout team guys. I'm talking to trainers on the staff. I'm talking to friends of players, girlfriends of players, just, you know, anybody that had some type of connection with the team. I found myself talking to them because I'm trying to find out who has the heart of the team, who has the ear of the team, who has won over that team, who is Nick Saban really, truly feeling right now. And it wasn't an overall consensus, but over the hundreds of people I talked to, the majority of guys that reported back to me said Jalen Hurts is winning the team. Jalen Hurts has the ear of the locker room. Jalen Hurts has that type of confidence and charisma. Jalen Hurts is who Nick Saban is really valuing right now. And after coming up with all the information from all the people I talked to, from the credible sources I had around me, I went home, went to my apartment, typed up the article during the 1st of August, put it out there that, you know, Jalen Hurts is the guy. And for a 3-week period, I was not involved on social media. You talk about taking a verbal beating. You talk about getting lit up like a Christmas tree. You talk about getting beaten to death like a Mexican piñata, donde está? Where's the candy? There is no candy. Beaten apart. You talk about going on social media and hearing, who is you? What makes you think you can write this story? You ain't Nick Saban. Let's have Nick Saban make the decisions. Oh man, here comes another journalist putting out false information. Lo and behold, game against Southern California, Blake Barnett was tapped as the starting quarterback. Had issues moving the football. Jalen Hurts goes out there, 4 touchdowns total, wins that job over, becomes the starting quarterback, has the Hurts so good hashtag, has the Terrell Owens meme, that's my quarterback, has the brush the shoulders off, I'm clean every time he runs to the end zone, scores a touchdown. I mean, became the guy. And yet, it's the same thing, it's the ideal thing that led to, or it's the same ideal thing that started the Hurts so good hashtag. It's the same thing that started the Terrell Owens, the meme, that's my quarterback. It's the same thing that sparked or led to the brushing off the shoulders, I'm clean, the confidence of Jalen Hurts. The same thing that led to that is the exact same thing that has brought on Jalen Hurts right now, sort of, at a crossroad, and that's having another quarterback come into the game and provide that spark. In the same way, Alabama needed Jalen Hurts to come in and provide a spark against USC in 2016. The exact same thing happens again in the national championship game this past season against Georgia. Only difference is it's Jalen Hurts struggling to move the football, and in the second half, you have to have another freshman, and this is Tua Tagovailoa. At the time, he comes in, he provides a spark, but it's not just a spark to win a game, it's a spark to win the national championship. Big difference between an ordinary game and a national championship. Difference number one, there's a trophy involved. And as much as people love, value, and appreciate Jalen Hurts for his character, demeanor, personality, both on and off the field, and how he continues to represent the University of Alabama in a first-class way, let's be honest, the young man is at a crossroad right now. You look at a couple of former Alabama players that have a voice in the media. First off, Greg McElroy. McElroy didn't make it big in the National Football League. He was a practice squad quarterback, but at Alabama, this was a BCS national champion. This was somebody who played under Nick Saban. This is somebody who put up some pretty good numbers, and when he speaks, people listen just based on those credentials. Played at Alabama, played under Nick Saban, won a national championship, put up some good numbers, and was a quarterback at this particular school. People may not like what he has to say all the time, but they're going to turn the volume up on the radio. They're going to turn that clicker on him because they see he's credible. Alabama quarterback, played the position, played under Nick Saban, won a national championship, knows what it takes to win. Want to hear what he has to say because he's been there, done that. Same thing for Barrett Jones. Probably one of the more decorative offensive linemen in Alabama history, if not the most decorative lineman in Tide history. Jacobs Blocking Trophy Award winner, Remington Award winner, Werfel Trophy Award winner. Very, very intelligent guy. Didn't pan out in the NFL, but because he played on multiple national championship teams, 2009, 2011, and 2012, because he was the primary guy in the center of the quarterback exchange, played center, spent a lot of time, helping the quarterbacks out as a guy on the offensive line. Credential, credible. When Barrett Jones speaks on a quarterback thing, people are going to listen. Why? Played under Nick Saban, played at Alabama, multiple national championships, and worked with quarterbacks. Vinny Sunseri, the same ordeal, though he played on the defensive side of the football. All of these guys are pointing the direction to Tua Tagovailoa based on not only what they saw in the national championship game, but also keep in mind, Nick Saban's a pro-style guy. He's a pro-style coach. And when you look at pro-style, it's having a quarterback that takes the ball from under center. You are 3-step, 5-step, 7-step dropping. You are stretching the ball downfield with play action, with post patterns, with timing routes. For most pro-style quarterbacks, when you come to the line of scrimmage and pre-snap read, post-snap read, you are surveying the whole field. Now, sometimes in pre-snap read, you'll know straight off who you're trying to get the ball to because you see a matchup you like, you see a matchup you can exploit, you see one you can take advantage of. And sometimes you may not see it in pre-snap read, but in post-snap read, upon the snap of the ball, you're looking around seeing, okay, are they giving me a cover 0 with no safety? Are they giving me cover 1 where I can manipulate the safety? Are they giving me cover 2? Are they giving me cover 3? Is it man-to-man? Is it zone? In post-snap read, you are taking your eyes and you are moving it from left to right. You are surveying your options, looking at options 1, 2, 3, and 4, trying to see what's your best read, what's your best option. And Jalen Hurts was never brought up in a pro-style system. Never brought up in that system. He comes from Texas where there's a lot of spread. It's spread and it's one read. And if option number 1 is not there, you're pulling the ball down and you're running. It's shotgun, it's 4 or 5 wide sets, it's making an easy read. If your pre-snap read, if your hot read is not there, do what you want to with it. That's where Jalen Hurts comes from, and it's very hard to take a spread-oriented quarterback and make him become a pro-style guy and force him into being a pro-style guy. It's like trying to force a puzzle piece to fit where it does not fit. You can jam that puzzle piece in all you want to, but all you're gonna get is a puzzle piece sticking out like a sore thumb because it don't fit. And the puzzle is not complete because you don't have the right piece to fit that puzzle, and now you have to find the actual piece. It's the same with Jalen Hurts. You can't force a guy to be a pro-style quarterback when he's not a pro-style quarterback. And I understand a lot of people will say, well, Steve, he did so good his freshman year. Look at who the offensive coordinator was. It was Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, who is a spread guy. I mean, yeah, he did some pro-style things at Tennessee, but for the most part, Lane Kiffin's a spread guy. And Lane Kiffin is the type of guy that will work with your strengths and mask your weaknesses. And how did he do that? He had a guy in Jalen Hurts as a freshman where he knew, okay, this guy has trouble reading through all the options. Let's formulate a game plan where it's one read. We'll have quick throws, quick game, quick flips to the outside, quick throws to the outside, quick tosses to the perimeter, and we'll let the playmakers do most of the work. And if the option 1 is not there, we'll have Jalen pull the ball down and take off with it. That's why Jalen Hurts was so successful in 2016. Lane Kiffin, able to work on the strengths, improve the strengths, mask the weaknesses. That's what Lane Kiffin did. Dan Enos is not Lane Kiffin. Dan Enos is pro-style guy. He wants you 3, 5, 7-step dropping. He wants you surveying the field. He wants you putting the ball in direct spots. He wants you stretching the field, going over all the options. It's Dan Enos. Did it at Arkansas. Brandon Allen, Austin Allen. Did it at Central Michigan. Cooper Rush, Ryan Radcliffe. When I look at Jalen Hurts, he's got 3 options. He's got 3 options right here going into the summer, in my opinion. Option number 1, if he really wants to be the quarterback, if he really wants to be the guy, and I believe he does, but if he really wants to be the quarterback, if he really wants to win this job and excel at the next level despite what's transpired, I would not even take a summer class this summer at Alabama. I would grab Dan Enos, and I would grab a couple of wide receivers, and I would go somewhere and I would work on routes every single day in the summer. I would grab Dan Enos and I would say, Coach, help me. I want to be the guy. I want to win the job. I want to be the starter. I want to be the best. And I'm working as hard as I can, but just something is keeping me from getting the gist of this. Coach, help me. I need help. Receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Devonta Smith, Henry Ruggs. I want to be your quarterback. I want to be the guy. I'm trying as hard as I can. Help me. I would grab Dan Enos. I would grab a couple of receivers, and I work on routes throughout the entire summer. watch film, work on routes. You look at guys like, you look at the relationship between Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, and Danny Amendola during their time with the Patriots. And I know Amendola right now is with the Miami Dolphins, but you want to know why those three were close during their time with the Patriots? You want to know why those three were so in sync with each other, in tune with each other, connected with each other? You want to know why Tom Brady was able to have that ball right there every single time for Amendola and Edelman? It was because each and every offseason, Brady would take those two receivers to Montana, and they would work on routes, and they would watch film, and they would spend time with each other. Jalen Hurts, if he wants to win this job, option one, I'm taking Dan Enos, I'm taking a couple of receivers, and I'm training. I'm throwing all summer long. Option number two for Jalen, if he wants to stay at Alabama and is okay with this, then he would stay, but as a backup to Tua Tagovailoa. He would play second fiddle to Tua. And for me, I mean, if he was to pull this, would be a better man than me, because me knowing the type of competitor I am, I want to be the guy. I ain't trying to play second banana, second fiddle to nobody. I want to be the guy. But once again, that's just me. If Jalen wants to stay and he's the backup to Tua and is fine with that, then Alabama could have a situation like the Philadelphia Eagles have right now with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. The Eagles know Carson Wentz is our guy. Rain, sleet, snow, hail, injured, healthy, Carson Wentz is our guy. He's our first-round pick. We've invested a lot in him. He's our guy. We like Nick Foles. Nick Foles took us to the Super Bowl and won it when Carson Wentz was hurt, but Nick Foles is our backup. Carson Wentz is our ace in the hole. He is our guy. That's essentially what Alabama would have. Tua Tagovailoa, your guy. Jalen Hurts, your backup. If Tua wants to get hurt, or if Tua needed to come out for a play, you could have Jalen go in there, do some things. Once again, if he's fine with that, that's option number two. Option number three, and it doesn't go any easier than this, transfer out. That's option number three for Jalen. Transfer out of the program. If you want to be the guy, if you want to be the one to play at the next level, of course, Jalen wants to play at the NFL level. Jalen's father definitely wants to see him play at the NFL level. But if you know that you're not going to have a chance to really beat out Tua and what he brings to the table and the hype and the truth around a lot of that hype surrounding Tua, then you got to go somewhere where you can play. And don't give me this junk on, well, Jalen can switch positions at Alabama. He can play running back. He can play wide receiver. He can play DB. Think about this question before you ask it. Do you really think Jalen Hurts is going to steal carries from Damian Harris? Somebody who came back to Alabama for his senior year to be the guy, to be a leader, to be the number one back, somebody that's chasing history right now, can be the first back in Crimson Tide folklore to have 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Do you really think Jalen Hurts is taking carries from Damian Harris? Do you really think he's taking carries from Najee Harris, somebody of whom Bama fans believe is the best back that Saban's ever recruited? Do you think he's taking carries from Josh Jacobs when that guy's healthy, the diversity that he brings? Is he taking carries from Brian Robinson? No. At wide receiver, is he taking reps from Jerry Jeudy, from Devonta Smith, from Henry Ruggs, from Tyrone Shavers, from Derek Keefe? No. At defensive back, I mean, yeah, Alabama's lost some guys to the NFL, but is he really taking reps from Deontay Thompson, from Xavier McKinney, from Shyheim Carter, from Trayvon Diggs, from Savion Smith, from Nigel Knott, from Daniel Wright, from Jarrett Maiden, from Kyrick McDonald? No. He's taking reps from none of those guys. You want to know why? Because all of those guys have been playing defensive back, wide receiver, running back since they were 6 years old, from day one. This is what they know. The last 2 years, Jalen Hurts has played quarterback. And it's going to take him a long time or a while to learn a different position in Alabama, especially a position that all these other guys know and have played. So the fact that, is he going to switch positions? No. Be a waste of time. The man wants to play quarterback. My 3 options for Jalen Hurts once again. If he really wants to be the guy, number 1, I take some wide receivers. I take Dan Enos with me. I work on routes. I work on my arm whole summer. Number 2, be the backup quarterback behind Tua. If you really want to stay at Alabama, be the backup quarterback behind Tua. I wouldn't do it, but hey, he might be a better man than me. Number 3, transfer out of the program. Find a spot you can go to and you can be the guy. Jalen Hurts is at a crossroad. And this summer, he is going to have to find out what he wants to do. Alabama fans love him. They love his demeanor off the field. They love his personality. I enjoy the guy. Once again, I was the one 3 years ago that broke the story on him being the starting quarterback. But right now, he's at a crossroad. Last season, struggled throwing the football consistently. This past A-Day game, over the weekend, didn't look good. Got to find out what he's going to do. Taking another break here on In My Own Words. When we get back, we'll go to the Ask Steven segment. I know we talked about NFL previously. We were going to get into the NFL, the National Football League, where the draft was concerned. But if you got any questions, thoughts, concerns on your Alabama Crimson Tide, now's the time to deliver those questions. We'll dive into the mailbag on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. It's your boy, Stephen M. Smith, host of In My Own Words, the podcast. If you are a fan of this show, then I encourage you to subscribe to the Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube channel. Also follow the brand on Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media as we continue to bring you the best in Alabama football and Crimson Tide athletics.